Small Talk.
Technically. Oh, yeah. Hey, y'all. Welcome back. It's Small Talk. You already know, two queens, two perspectives, one topic. Britt, what are we talking about today?
Today, let's talk about first impressions. First impressions. This is something that's not talked about a lot.
No.
And I feel like we should talk about it because first impressions go a long way. So, therefore, first impressions, I feel like they're very important because you kind of get a feel for somebody, right?
Yeah.
So there's different types of first impressions. I feel that we as individuals have to make. I feel like, when you're going on a job interview, you want to make sure you're clean, well groomed,
right,
and you talk correctly or whatever it is. But then there's the first impressions when you're dating someone and you're meeting their family for the first time, or you're meeting their friends for the first time.
Right.
And then there's the first impressions where you are being introduced to a new social group and you just want to fit in.
Right.
So we're going to dig into those a little bit. Let's start off with first impressions in a more professional type of way. I think it's important, obviously, to be well-groomed. I think you need to do your homework, do your research on any type of organization that you, even if you're not applying for a job, but if you have a meeting set up with them or whatever, you need to know who you're sitting with.
Yeah.
That way, especially when you're trying to sell yourself or something, or to get them to sign something or to do something for you or to work with you within your work, your job field, I feel like you need to understand them. But first you need to understand yourself.
True.
And you need to have a seat at the table with them, going in openly. But like, what am I trying to say? More so like, your first impression shouldn't be like, hi, my name is Brittany. Nice to meet you. Like, everybody does that. So you have to kind of think outside of the box.
Stand out a little bit.
Yes, that. You have to stand out a little bit. But in order to stand out, you have to do your homework on the type of organization that it is and what exactly it is that they're looking for and what you're trying to get them to do for you.
Yes.
So it's very, very important. I feel like there's a lot of times when I'm trying to make a first impression on somebody, I will go in knowingly, wholeheartedly, just being myself. I think that's the key, because when you find yourself trying to conform to other people, like, oh, they talk a certain way, so I'm going to talk a certain way, or oh, they look a certain way. So instead of wearing that blouse with the chain that I normally wear, I'm gonna wear a button up, and then next thing you know, it's falling all apart because that's not my look. That's not who I am.
Yeah.
I think it's important to be yourself, but also understand them, just so you can kind of tie that in there in terms of professional.
I agree with that for sure. And I think also something that a lot of people don't think about, like, let's say you're going into a job interview or something like that. I always do like a thank you note or like a thank you email, something like that I leave with the folks that I've just been able to speak with and stuff like that, because as someone, and we both do, on the opposite side of the table, right, where we do have people that come in for interviews and stuff like that, I have seen people they do this thing where it's like, when people, they apply for, let's say, a bunch of jobs on Indeed, right? And then it's like they come into the interview and then they act like they don't know which job they're interviewing for. It's like they was just like, yeah, I'll take the interview. And then they know nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. There was somebody that was applying for a job where I work. And the feedback that we gave was like, we are so unsure if you know which job you came in to interview for today.
Yeah.
And it was like, but that's also one thing, right? Because that was our first impression. And so for us, when we were doing like our rating stuff, zeros across the board,
right?
Zeros. And that person felt that energy, right? So you kind of will get a feel for how the person that, that you're trying to speak with or meet with or whatever, you'll feel their vibe for sure. And sometimes you can go back to like being yourself. If you're, let's say, I'm not really a corporate America type of chick, you know what I'm saying? But if I know I'm trying to speak with somebody from that organization or, from that company or whatever the case may be, I'm still going to try to like speak their language a little bit, right? So like be myself with their twang on it a little bit, if you will, their flair, just so that it's not so off-putting.
Right. And so I noticed that a lot of people are against code switching. I hear that all the time. And when you talk about that, that's the first thing I thought about was like code switching. I don't know if I'm really against that, because I feel like you have to know when to code switch a little bit. It's not saying to take away from who you are, but it's saying to know your audience. You can't do something for someone, you know, of a prestigious whatever, coming in there talking all types of way, or acting or looking or doing whatever. But then people like to say, oh, but that's me. That's who I am. Okay, that can be who you are, but understanding your audience allows you to be who you are, but also like shape and mold it so you can sell yourself and get what you need out of the people that you're there for. Because ultimately you need them. They don't really need you majority of the times. I will say that, like, in my field of work, I've had plenty of people that I've reached out to do some presentations for me. And I think it's terrible when they make a commitment to something and then it's like, I've had one speaker be like, okay, I'll be there, I'll sign up, whatever, this is what I need. And then when the time of the conference, you're late. You know, you show up with this attitude, where's my stuff? What I need to, hold on. This is your first time meeting me. Your first time ever meeting me. I don't care how many emails we wrote. I don't care how many phone calls we made to one another. This is your first time physically in person meeting me. So with you coming in here running like you have an attitude, or I need this right away, or where's my this, or I don't work for you. Let's get this straight. I don't work for you. I asked you to come here for me, right? Really and truly, I could ask anybody, but I chose you. So we both ultimately are helping out one another. That's just what it is. And I feel like people, they kind of, and this will go into another segue in terms of like first impressions, they prejudge you because of who you are. So both Asia and I, we work in leadership positions. We don't have the look of what our job titles actually are. So when people meet us, I feel like you're the what of the what? No. First of all, you're 5. Secondly, you're Black. Third, you're a woman.
Come on.
And it's like, okay, first impression, hello, who are you? Let me shake your hand right quick. Let me show you why I'm Black, young, and a woman working in this position with my first impression, because I'm about to rock your world. Little do you know. And I just feel like people give off that vibe, and it's just so unnecessary sometimes. So code switching to me, just to bring it back, code switching to me is kind of important, because you have to know when to turn it on and turn it off in order to get your point across.
Yeah, I completely agree. And it doesn't mean, like you said earlier, doesn't mean like you're code switching to the point where you become a completely different person, right? Like there are people that, you know, that do that. But in my mind, it's kind of like the thing where, you know how everybody has their telephone voice, right? When you think about it, right? Everybody has their telephone voice. Right. And it doesn't make you any less you, right? It doesn't mean that you've completely changed who you are as a person. And a lot of times we all do it without even thinking about it. You know what I'm saying? It's just like I didn't even pick up on my telephone voice until I actually had a young person, and they were like, oh, Miss Asia, I like that telephone voice. And it was like, yo, I really do have, and then it made me think we all do have one. So in the same way, it's not losing yourself in that, right? Because that's just not authentic, but it's just about being able to know who your audience is, and how to really just tailor the conversation, tailor yourself, tailor what you're doing, so that you can get what you need from that conversation, from that meeting, you know, to elevate yourself and your goals and your mission. But something that you said, Britt, that made me think about, leading us into kind of a different area though, is how sometimes people, when you're coming into a space, right, and it's like you don't know any people there, it's your first time meeting, I feel like sometimes, and this goes into what I'm thinking about, like significant others or friends jumping in other friends' circles, right, like new friend circles, and them being the new ones in. I truly believe there is a such thing as being too comfortable too soon. That, for me, that is it's like, I'm sorry. And this crew here, we don't joke like that. We don't talk to each other like that. We don't, you know, these are types of conversations that we don't have. You know what I'm saying? Like, for me, it's one of those things of like, you need to ease your way in. Right? Figure out same thing, figure out who your audience is.
Right.
You know, it's like, you know what? We would love to get to know you for you. Sure. But you're the new one in here. So don't be coming up in here like how you said the lady was like, oh, da 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 da.
Yeah, I agree with that. I feel like exactly what you just said. You got to know who you're entertaining. And so when it comes, so groups of friends and significant others are two totally different things for me anyway. I feel like if you're meeting your significant other's friends, your partner has already told you more than likely about who these people are. This person's like this. Oh, this one's loud. This one's funny. This one likes to tell jokes, whatever. You knowing that, you go into this room. The best thing you can ever do is observe the scene first.
Yes.
Do not walk into a room and be like, yo, what's good? Yeah, what's up, dog? Don't do that. Because I don't care how funny, I don't care how shy, I don't care how much of a twerker, whatever they identify with, that friend identifies with, we're all going to look at you like, who is this
You
person?
are doing too much.
Who is this person? Now, I'm not saying that if that's a part of your personality, that's just who you are, and you do that everywhere you go, then let that be that. But also know that you're now around a different group of people.
Yeah.
You would never walk into a restaurant. You would never walk into a movie theater. You would never walk into a public space like, yo, what's up, everybody? You wouldn't do that. So the people that are closest to your partner, I feel like you kind of gauged already who they were according to the descriptions that were given to you prior to coming. And then when you come, it's kind of like, okay, I already got a feel of who these people are. Yeah. Let me sit back, watch, understand what my partner was talking about, and then interact and engage with people. Because if you come in with this explosive, outgoing personality, let me tell y'all something. My friendship circle, I'm talking about mine, and that means church, best friends, college friends, school friends, whatever. We're all the same because birds of a feather flock together. And we're going to look at you and say, sit down, because this ain't it. Or we're going to tell you you're doing too much. Either that or you're going to be really uncomfortable because nobody's laughing at your jokes. We're giving you the side eye. And it's only because it's not to make you feel indifferent, but it's for you to know your place. And this is your first time meeting you. So your first impression should be, hey, what's up, y'all? I'm such and such. Let me feel the room first. And then give y'all some of my personality once I observe, what's going on.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. And for me, it's like, I think one of the ways I can describe it or think about it is like, you want to give it to people in doses, right? Because if you cook and you're not about to throw all the season, all the salt in there right away, you're not going to do it. You do a little bit at a time, little bit taste. You know what I'm saying? Until you get where it's comfortable. And that goes for if you have, let's say, like a super outgoing personality, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's dope, that's amazing, but give it to us in doses.
Right.
Or if you are someone that's super, super quiet, I would still say give that to people in doses, because then you might have like somebody like me that's like, why are they just sitting there?
Yeah.
Then why did they come? Like, are they not gonna say hello? Like, that's weird, you know? So like, it's one of those, I feel like just do it in moderation. Whichever type of personality that you have, right? Just ease people into it, right? Like Britt said, just get a feel for lay of the land. And also something that I have found when it comes to first impressions is that I think it really is important though to be you and to be genuine.
Yes.
Because what people can feel, right, is I can feel when you're not being authentic.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like, if you come in here like, yo, what it do, baby boo? For me, it's like, who does like, is that really you though? You know what I'm saying? Like, is that really you? Like, you don't have to do too much, because it's not going to make the friends group like you anymore.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or any less, right? Because we don't
know you though.
Exactly. So most times, for real, and this is coming from a place of like, if this is like one of my friends, significant others coming into like the friend circle, I'm not out to get you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? My homegirl, my best friend, she likes you for you. She likes you for something. Right. So the way that I do it, I'm looking to see how real is this person, honestly, like how genuine are they? And of course, and as friends, I feel like we all kind of do. We try to get a feel for like, all right, but who are you really? Right? Like, like she says she like you, but I'm a see, because she in that honeymoon phase. She might not see something that we see.
Yeah.
So just know we looking at all of it. Yeah. Right. but just be you. And it is important. I don't like it when people be like, well, I'm just here for my girl. I'm just here for my dude. It's like, for me, I just sincerely don't like when people do that.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. That's terrible, because at the end of the day, that means not only are you putting on a facade, but yourself. Now you're showing me you're selfish and you don't care about anybody else that's up in here. Right. I don't like that. I don't like that. I'd agree with you wholeheartedly on the point of just being you, being yourself. I feel like there's been times where, man, this ties, like, first impressions really ties into everything. If you think about, I was gonna go into like meeting parents, but then I thought about like my first date, you know, and like the first time I meet you, you know, doggone well, you don't open doors, you don't freaking, you don't say please and thank you. Your mama ain't never taught you nothing. Like, you know that that's a part of who you are. So the first time I met you, bro, you had me fooled, because you opened every single door. And then when it's like, okay, 5 days later or a week from now, we're going on date number 2. And it was like, dang, the door freaking knocked me in the face because you had already walked inside. Like, that to me shows me a lot. And it's just like, you don't have to put on a facade for me. If you're the type of person that doesn't open doors for women, how do you know that I'm into chivalry or whatever? Let it be you. Let it be known first, and let me make my decision based off of what I see. That goes into everything. That goes into, if you're dating me, I'm telling you, I'm going to go meet my mom. Telling you the type of person that she is. My mom for y'all that know me, y'all know my mom gets along with everybody. Every single soul that walks into that home, you will get Southern hospitality, straight up. Please don't go in there in my mama's house with some roses that you bought off the side of the road, knowing doggone well you ain't never bought a rose a day in your life for anybody, and then be like, oh, how you doing, miss? How you doing? You know, and just having this fake, because now, whatever you're giving her right now, one, she's gonna read you your rights because she can see right through it, and two, if you're not gonna keep that up, don't start out with that, because that's a first impression, that's a lasting impression, but it's something that's not you. So it's going to be expected of you to talk a certain way, to act a certain way, to do certain things, and it's really not who you are. So just give, like Asia was saying, give all of you from the beginning. People change. We gonna throw that out there. So you're entitled to change, but your first impression should be a lasting impression. But it only should be a lasting impression because it's something that you do consistently with everybody, and it's who you are. You know who you are, and you know what you can bring to the table.
Oh, right, that's good. I mean, I really don't have much else to say, and that's that on that. So this has been another episode of Small Talk. 2 queens, 2 perspectives, 1 topic. We'll see you on the next episode. Take care.
Bye.
Talk it.